class.
Yes.
Demo ପାଇଁ 20, demo ନୁହଁ କି ପାଠ ଜାଣିକି ପଢେଇଦେବେ, ସେ କୋଉ ଷ୍ଟାଇଲରେ ପଢଉ ସେଇ ଟାଇପର। Yes, yes.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Take the seat.
Introduce yourself.
Myself, Devi Rao. I am from Mayurbhanj district. I have completed my graduation in MPC Autonomous College and have completed my masters and MPhil in North Odisha University, which is now known as Maharaja Sri Ramchandra University. And I am a high school teacher in Mayurbhanj district. A high school teacher.
Not continuing.
Yes, sir.
Is botany an interesting subject to be taught?
For me, it is an interesting subject.
In which way? You have to explain. Botany is an interesting subject to be taught.
The botany has many aspects. Like we have to know about many medicinal plants, which is useful in our daily life, and many important metabolites which are extracted from different plants.
Have you read plant psychology?
Yes.
Was made the first attempt of giving plant psychology theory. Who is the botanist?
So plant cytology theory, cell theory was first given by Sheldon and Swan. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. It is the statement of the cell theory. From every cell tissue is made. From tissue to organ to organ system, and organ system to organism. In this way, organism may be plants or animals.
What is the recent advancement in botany as a science? What is the latest advancement?
No answer or you don't know? Okay. So which specific area of botany that you are passionate about and why?
Genetics.
Genetics. And why? Genetics.
Genetics is interesting to be. It contains many process and problems. I love mathematical problems in biology.
Why you choose this profession?
I love teaching because I love to interact with my students.
So how
That is the only criteria. For which you have chosen teaching as your profession? No, not at all. I think it's not. Why do you choose teaching as your profession? To interact with your students, very normal way of giving the answer.
Political leader also they interact with the public. Same profession, different profession. But what is said? You don't interact with your students.
Sir,
That is
teacher is one of the sir, can I use word?
Sorry, because your language that is important in teaching. Dual method, dual language, strictly prohibited.
But somehow you can use ODIA. NEP National Education Policy ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜକୁ ସବୁ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ରେ ରିଜନାଲ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜକୁ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ବଟନି ବି ଟଟ୍ ଇନ୍ ଓଡ଼ିଆ?
That is too difficult for the student and the teacher also. So that we should have.
Most of the science subjects to be taught in English.
So that why you told me Oriya, profession.
Sir,
You may use it for the clearance of the students. But that is difficult for you and for the students when they will write.
Sir, as a teacher, I can facilitate or guide my students for achieving their future goals. And I can help, and I can use my knowledge. I can use my knowledge and my experience to help my students to reach their goals and to help my students.
What is the real aim of the teacher?
The aim of the teaching is to make my students' future bright and to make students are the futures of the nations and to make the nation's future bright.
Which method you apply, or which method you would apply in when you will teach your classes? Which method you would apply for the higher secondary? Now you are teaching secondary students, higher secondary you will teach. Which method you apply?
Sir, I always teach starting from real life examples, two theories, so that students can, so that the learning can be interesting and students can relate the story with their real life situations and can learn from it.
What is the impact of global warming on plant anatomy?
Plant can during photosynthesis, plant synthesize glucose with C6H12O6 from CO2 and H2O in presence of sunlight. But the CO2
Only in
concentration.
presence of sunlight.
Chlorophyll.
Only like it. Okay, go ahead.
And the point is carbon dioxide should be in optimum amount for the plants also. The plant cannot absorb huge amount of CO2, and if the CO2 concentration will increase, then plant photosynthetic mechanism, it will destroy the plant photosynthetic mechanism, and plant cannot synthesize. All plants cannot synthesize from high concentration CO2 to C6H12O6. Hence, CO2 should be in optimum limit. During global warming, CO2 concentration increasing. So it is also a threat to plants also.
So, tell me 2-3 gases that is emitted out from the greenhouse effect.
Methane,
Methane.
chlorofluorocarbon, CO2,
Carbon dioxide. Always say it in full form.
carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Yes. Carbon dioxide, methane.
Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon,
Okay.
nitrous oxides.
Yes.
What is the formula of carbon monoxide?
CO, carbon and oxygen.
Genetics, no?
Yes.
Your favorite.
Okay, have you prepared any demo?
Yes.
Okay, start
Which
here.
chapter?
There is.
So, your topic must be on genetics, right?
Yes, ma'am. Genetics includes two terms. One is heredity and one is variation. As we know, most of the children look like their parents because their parents have many characters are transmitted from parent to offspring. That's why most of the children looks.
Listen, and to whom you are teaching now? You have not introduced anything, just you are mentioning the topic and first of all introduce. To whom you are
When you are a teacher, we are now student. You are teaching us. You are newcomer. We are also newcomer. You should introduce yourself. What you are going. Understood? That is also one.
When I start.
Yes, yes.
Sure.
Good morning, respected panel members. Myself Devdutt Rao, and I am teaching today. My topic is monohybrid cross. It is a topic from genetics. Let's start from an example that every children, most of the children, it may be animals human being, they look like their parents. They look like their parents, such as the skin color, hair growth, or it may be eye color or eye structure. Most of the characters are transmitted from the parent to offspring. But is the parent and offspring are identical? No. They are not identical because there are many variations between the parent and offspring. There are many characters which are formed in the children or offspring due to the genetic recombination, environmental influence, and such characters which are different from the parents is known as variation. There are two terms in genetics. One is heredity. One is heredity and another one is variation. In heredity, there is transmission of many characters from parent to offspring. But in variation, there are many variations. As I told, there are many variations between the parents and children, and such characters are known as the variations. The heredity and variation both included in genetics. Genetics came from a term gene. Gene is the inheritable character which is transmitted from parent to offspring. Gene carries the character. Gene carries the characters. And gene term was called as factor. Gene term was called as factor by father of genetics. By father of genetics, Gregor Johann Mendel. Mendel is known as father of genetics, and Mendel was died in 1884, and Mendel's work was rediscovered in 1900 by three scientists, Hugo de Vries, Carl Correns, and von Sermack. These three scientists rediscovered the Mendel's work individually, and they have seen their work is similar to Gregor Johann Mendel, and they denoted they have mentioned Mendel as the father of genetics. Mendel have never called the term gene. He discovered factor. The term gene was coined by Johann Sen in 1909. The term gene was denoted by or discovered by Johann Sen in 1909, and Mendel has performed two types of cross, namely one is monohybrid cross and another one is dihybrid cross. Monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, out of which we will discuss the monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross contains two terms. One is mono and another one is hybrid. The mono means one. Mono means one, and one pair of character is involved. One pair of character. If only one pair of character is involved, such type of cross is known as Mendel's monohybrid cross, and Mendel have chosen the plant Pisum sativum for the monohybrid cross. Pisum sativum is known as pea plant. He has chosen one character tall and another character dwarf, which is physically seen, and such characters which are physically seen known as phenotype. Genotype. Mendel have chosen homozygous tall plant. Capital T means dominant homozygous tall plant, and dwarf plant as homozygous recessive small t. This is phenotype and this is genotype. It is the physical expression of the gene and it is the genetic constituents of the gene. Out of which phenotype and genotype, Mendel the gametes. Gametes are formed by meiosis. In meiosis, 2 and 2 n number of gametes is formed. Here 2T and 1T is formed, and here 2 small t and 1T is formed. And in F1 generation, F1 means filial one generation, first generation. Mendel have shown that all the plants contains the genotype capital T and small t, and the phenotype is tall. Phenotype is tall. All the plants are tall, and Mendel is showing that the capital T or it contains two types of gene. One is capital T and another one is small t, but it expresses only tall. Hence, tall is known as the dominant character because it is expressed in a one generation. Hence, Mendel concluded that the law of dominance capital T is expressed and it is known as tall plant. Then Mendel took another cross, capital T F1 hybrid to another capital hybrid cell cross. This is known as cell cross. For the easy understanding of the process, Punnett, a scientist known as Punnett, have discovered a Punnett square.
Dear teacher, till yet you have not made us understood what is hybridization or hybrid. You have you have used terms heredity, variation, genetics, factor, gene, but you have not till yet convinced us what is hybrid or what is hybridization.
So hybrid plant that contains two types of characters, more than one type of characters. So plants.
Can you define hybrid?
So hybrid is a plant that does not contain any pure genotypes. Pure genotype, it contains two types of heterozygous type genotypes. It is a hybrid because it contains one capital T and another is small t.
So why you have not done that cross? In genetics we used to do the cross. Why you are not showing? Student will easily recognize that. The TT you have written, it's okay, but this is not mathematics. So do you know how in genetics properly we used to cross it? And then if you show, it will look good and proper way. And you have also used monohybrid, dihybrid. But before going into this, if you have taken the term, you should differentiate what is monohybrid, what is dihybrid. And we are first starting with the monohybrid, right? So they will get confused what is dihybrid, difference between these two, you know. And third thing is very nice, but clumsily why you are writing. So little space also you can give in the blackboard, so that last bench also they can see the board properly, you know. Isn't it? Yes. So if you can do the cross nicely, do it. How you have done? You know now how to do?
Cross.
T, you have written T, capital T, small t, to cross it.
Cross sign.
But then we have
Make it more spectacular so that students can understand.
Yes.
T, the small capital T crossed with the small t.
Yes.
टर्मिनोलॉजी जो का डिस्क्राइब कर ले टाइम एलिमिनेट होउचंती सारी लोग मोर टॉपिक अछि मोनोहाइब्रिड क्रॉस मुझे टर्मिनोलॉजी गुडा पढेबी ताले मोनोहाइब्रिड क्रॉस पहुंचवा पूर्व अटके
ना ठीक अछि, बट वी हैव टू रिकैपिचुलेट द टॉपिक.
Yes.
हमें जब रिकैपिचुलेट न करियो से मन भूली जिवे ना. सब क्लास पूर्वरु वी हैव टू रिकैपिचुलेट द टॉपिक. For 5 minutes you have to keep.
You should.
You have
the
yes,
time.
and you have to organize the
Because
class.
within 3 minutes, you are in debate, 2 minutes, 3 minutes speech. How you will give? How you will deliver? So, you should manage the time. What you want to teach, you should think, make a blueprint. After you come to the board.
We get the quiz. No need you should
It
say
is not
all the
your
time.
classroom.
You have to engage student.
3 to 5 minutes टर्मिनोलॉजी आगे बुझेगा.
Before entering into the classroom, you should plan, you have to organize. 5 minutes I'll give for recapitulation, then 10 minutes
Yes.
or 20 minutes I'll go for the content, and last again I will just go for the evaluation part. How much they have got.
नोट्स एंड प्रोवाइड कराया था टाइम सेग्रीगेट करके
Yes.
जस्ट एग्जैक्टली
Without that planning, class is not,
Fruitful.
Yes.
You are taking class, you are listening, you are teaching, that is teaching your voice coming, that is important.
Voice modulation is also very important.
Right? So that you should prepare for the topic. Tomorrow, how it will be better, you should think it. Make a blueprint. Topic is discussed directly. 2 minutes back. Now, topic, then evaluation.
Evaluation. Whether they have understood or
Or
not.
not.
And
That is important.
yes, and fully utilize the blackboard. Okay, don't make it clumsy. Isn't it? And date, that is small one, but date you have written, write down date. Why you have not written?
That's another thing I am telling you, being a teacher, you should think it. What you have written. Date,
बट यू हैव नॉट मेंशन्ड द
not mentioned. Look at your board. Next, topic, small t.
Small thing, yes.
Next, mono, small m.
Small one.
Teacher, which type of? Being you are just a highly educated student and come teacher. From you, student will also follow. They will learn like this. Tomorrow, who will blame you or public? Teacher. So that first you correct it. That is important. Further, how? Clear? That is important because it came at the written. Student will just each and every student they will look. What's the writing?
They will also leave blank.
If you don't want write, that is a partition. Written means should come thoroughly. Clear? Chalo. If you want any more, otherwise.
how much time you will take to conclude your topic?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
Okay,
Right.
you are allowed.
The first cross was done by Mendel is known as the monohybrid cross. And monohybrid has two terminology. One is mono and another one is hybrid. Mono means one, that it contains only one pair of characters. And hybrid means it contains not pure plants. It contains two types of characters. So for example, if Mendel uses a tall plant and he has crossed it with dwarf plant. And tall plant and dwarf plant, tall dwarf, we can see that. And this is the physical expression. Hence it is called as phenotype. And the genotype was pure. The genotype was pure means if tall gene was expressed by capital T, homozygous dominant genes, and it is the genetic expression, and it is called as the genotype. And dwarf plant was denoted by small t, that is homozygous recessive. Homo means same. Zygous means we have two similar genes and two similar alleles, and it is known as the genotype of the dwarf plants. And Mendel has crossed the phenotype with the two genotypes, capital T and small t. Then the gamete he have got in first cross, capital T, and here he got the small t. And from capital T and small t, they unite together after the cross, and it forms capital T, small t, which is now known as the hybrid. Difference between parent and hybrid is the parent contains similar type of alleles, but the hybrid contains two types of alleles. One is capital T and another one small t. But the phenotype expressed here is tall. It contains two types of genes, capital T, small t, but it expresses only tall phenotype. Hence, tall is the dominant character. And tall is the dominant character. It is the F1 hybrid. It is the F1 hybrid that obtained by Mendel. Then Mendel crossed the F1 hybrid capital T small d with capital T small d again, and he got the results for F2. In F2, capital T will be crossed with capital T and capital T crossed with small d. Then small d will be crossed with the capital T and small t will again be crossed with the small d. Capital T crossed with capital T. We have got capital T, capital T. Capital T will cross with small t. Capital T, small t. Then small t crossed with capital T. Capital T, small t. And again capital small t crossed with the small t. There are three types of genotypes here. One is capital T, and another two is capital T, small t, and another one is small t, small t. So 1, 2. It is the genotypic ratio of the Mendel 1:2:1. But in phenotypic case, it is told, and the hybrid plant, two hybrid plant, capital T, small t, is also told, and it is also told. But the last one is dwarf. And the phenotypic ratio we can write as tall is to dwarf, which is three tall plants, that is 3:1 dwarf plant, it is 1. It is the phenotypic ratio, and it is the genotypic ratio 1:2:1. And it is the Mendel's monohybrid cross. And from this cross we can evaluate two types of law that is described by Mendel in F1 generation or filial 1 generation. In F1 or filial 1 generation, Mendel has got capital T, small t, that is tall plant, that is only dominant gene, only dominant character is expressed, and Mendel named it as law of dominance. But in F2 cross, not only tall but also dwarf is expressed. It means that the small t character which is present but not expressed, it is not contaminated. Expressed, it is pure, and it expressed itself in the homozygous recessive condition in the F2 generation. Hence, it is the segregation of the two gametes, that is capital T and small t. It describes the separation of the two gametes, separation with segregation. Hence, Mendel named it as law of segregation. Two laws involved in the Mendel's monohybrid cross. One is law of dominance and another one is law of segregation. In F1 generation we can easily describe law of dominance, and in F2 generation the law of segregation is.
Sit down.
So you like to do practicals also? Which one, theory or in practical?
Both.
So if I'll ask this tall and tall, 1:2, it will go for practical in the field. So how you will explain to the children or students that these two are different from each other, because that is teaching, this is capital with small t. So how practically you will say that this is the difference in field? Is there any idea? Because students, they will ask, theory is okay, practically also they want to get the knowledge. So how?
In practicals, we collect the samples of the phyloms type, and we have seen the characters like round seeds, and how many, suppose you have taken 10 pairs, 10 phyloms at among PP pieces, then we have seen the how many of the ring-killed seeder, how many is round seeder, then describe the ratio. But the genotype,
No, phenotypically only I am asking.
I can express by counting or by seeing the character, physical expression of physical character, such as the pea in one pieces. There are many seeds. How many will be round and how many will be linked? We can see easily on naked eye, and we can count the ratio.
କିଏ ପଢ଼େଇଛନ୍ତି ମାନେ ଟିଚର କିଏ ପଢ଼ିଥିଲେ କଲେଜରେ?
ପଢ଼େଇଛନ୍ତି ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଗ୍ରାଜୁଏସନ୍
यूनिवर्सिटी होगा ग्रेजुएशन हो कि पढ़े जाएगी किए पढ़े
ग्रेजुएशन में 12 साल पढ़े एस एस पॉल सर ग्रेजुएशन में ए के विश्वास सर एस टी साहू सर बोस्टिया सर उमा सर वाइस चांसलर
Who college?
नॉर्थ ओडिशा यूनिवर्सिटी
Oh, not.
पोस्टेशन लेवल के पढ़े हैं पीजी लेवल
बोस्टिया सर साहू सर विष्णुप्रिया हंसदाना यूबी विश्वास सर यूबी महापात्र सर उमा सर बीसीओ सर
बर्तमान तो ओडिशा बीसीके लाइसेंस
नॉर्थ ओडिशा यूनिवर्सिटी
हां
साउथ में
कैसे और कौन से ठीक है वाइस चांसलर
वाइस चांसलर एबे सर नोए
अग्रवाल यूनिवर्सिटी वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर एसएनटी संतोष कुमार त्रिपाठी प्रोफेसर संतोष कुमार त्रिपाठी इज इन चार्ज वाइस चांसलर नॉर्थ साइड माने अग्रवाल यूनिवर्सिटी वाइस चांसलर बट जेहेतु नाहिंती वर्तमान वाइस चांसलर नॉर्थ साइड यूनिवर्सिटी चार्ज नियरेस्ट लेवलिंग वाइस चांसलर थैंक यू मैम
That is main character. You should clean the board when you leave the class.
ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ କିଛି କରିନଥିଲୁ That
is management.
सर ये हैंडराइटिंग के प्रॉब्लम
That is
ହବନି
Science
ବୋର୍ଡରେ ଲେଖିଲେ ଯାଇକି ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ରାଇଟିଂ ଠିକ ହବ ମାନେ
because you are writing chalk perhaps.
ତମେ ବୋର୍ଡରେ ଲେଖ ଲେଖିଲେ ଯାଇ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ରାଇଟିଂ ଠିକ ହବ ମାନେ ଗୋଟା ଅକ୍ଷର ବଡ଼ ଗୋଟା ଅକ୍ଷର ଛୋଟ ଏମିତି ହବନି ମାନେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଲାଗିବ ଇଟ୍ ଲୁକ୍ସ ଗୁଡ୍
बोर्ड टा प्लम्बिंग होची केमती बोर्ड देखिबा माने पूरा जाम होची बोर्ड टा
So be specific to the topic. Start follow one topic. So say इधर first heading दे दलो सब topic. तापर तार सब बुझेइलो. पहला गोटे साइड रे. तापर जब सेटा दरकार अछि तल रखिबा. न ताको रब कर दवा. Okay. नॉले पिला माने confused. They will get confused. Which side we will see and what to see.
No, part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yes.
क्लीन भी रखा है मतलब
It's okay. Tomorrow you can go for it.
थैंक यू सर थैंक यू
ସେ ଯୋଉ ପେପରରେ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଯାହା ନାଁ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ତାଙ୍କ ପେପର ପିଲା ପାଠ ଜାଣିକି ଟିଚିଂ ମେଥଡ଼ ଠିକ ନାହିଁ
ମାନେ ପିଲାମାନେ କାହିଁକି ଶୁଣିବେ ସେମାନେ
ହଁ।
ବୋର ହେଇଯିବେ
ମାନେ
ଆମକୁ
ସେ-
ଏନଗେଜ କରିକି
ହଁ।
ରଖିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ନା ତାକି ସେ ଆପଣ ବସିକି ଶୁଣିବେ ତ ସେଇଭଳି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ
They
ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେବଲ
know,
ହବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ
madam, they know part.
Yes.
They don't know how to use part.
But sir, आजकल the
How to
generation
use?
is that
Needed.
means the contents are presentable. You have to be
Sure.
presentable. Then only they will
But
see.
only theoretical just an easy use.
Agree.
Not practical.
theoretical ଗୁଡ଼ା ମୁଁ ତ ଭାଇବ୍ରେଟ୍ ବାବଦରେ କହିପାରିଲାନି
No. Only just theory use. Close, close. Take it. Say something about yourself.
Thank you, sir. My name is Utpal Mishra Jana. I am from Balikata, Mayurbhanj. My highest degree is postgraduate degree from North Odisha University. And then I got appointed Government High School in Navarampur. And my hobby is gardening and teaching students.
Why you choose this profession?
Teaching is my hobby, as I said. Teaching students makes me happy. When I see the smiles on their face when they got understand the topic, it makes me feel happy.
But
You will know that they have got understood.
This nature comes from students when they understand the topics. This nature comes from them. The smiling faces makes me happy. So
Only teaching is to teach, nothing else.
very big domain. Is teaching students their holistic development.
Everybody teaching. You are a teacher, you are teaching, I am teaching, everybody teaching. But my question, what is the real motto of a teacher? Now you are a teacher. You tell me, what is the real aim?
To make better persons for the society, to make the students better persons for better individuals. For
How to make? You told me how to make. That is you.
So
How many you made already? Being a teacher,
I have 3 plus year teaching experience. 3 plus years.
still have
What was the subject given to you in school?
In school, I teach class 10 science, 9 math science, and 8 class science.
Science, which topic, means which area? Physics, chemistry, biology?
I teach all science.
All science also.
three classes.
Physics, chemistry, biology.
What was your background?
My background is civil.
Civilian. But physics, what you know? You are teaching me, but what you know?
That to 10 students, no?
10 students, I have the experience.
Experience. You are reading and you are teaching. Is it?
Teaching teacher, that's not teaching teacher.
Absent. So that you are adjusting. So
Which school and which area?
Pakra and develop no problem.
Papra.
साइंस स्टूडेंट सेठी साइंस स्टूडेंट माने साइंस पढ़ाले किस पिला बुझନ୍ତି
Maximum students, yeah, but half students are good.
हाफ स्टूडेंट्स आर गुड
Yeah.
अच्छा
Because it is the second good school from the block.
Okay.
Second, first modern school, then our school. It is going to BMC this year. What BMC?
So what criteria you have put for the low standard students?
Yeah, I have first target the average low students. If they would understand my topic, then what
Today
understand?
you will give a demo. So you just think we are the low standard students. Okay, we don't know anything. You will teach.
Actually, which subject you are going to teach demo class? You are prepared.
Yeah, yeah, topic that is photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, good.
Very nice. Very nice topic.
common teachers
There is marker, that's it.
स्कूल ले मीडियम कौन थिला ओडिया ना इंग्लिश
ओडिया.
Korean.
Korean.
Saraswati Sumantri.
सरस्वती शिशु मंदिर माने गवर्नमेंट स्कूल सरस्वती शिशु मंदिर शिशु
Schooling.
शिशु स्कूल
Schooling.
Oh, you are a student of सरस्वती शिशु मंदिर ओडिया में ने मु कहूची जो पढाउछु
हाँ, this is from my Korean.
ओडिया में
So, good morning students. Today's date is, what date is 31 May 2000. Very nice day. So, in this nice day, we are going to start very interesting topic. Before starting this topic, I want to ask you some very interesting questions. Okay. So, how do we get energy? Tell me, how do we get energy? How do we got energy? Of course, you from what? Food. Can you tell me what is energy? Have to we have to know what is energy. What is energy? Energy is ability to do work. Ability to do work. It enables us to be our day-to-day works. is energy. So energy we got from food. So where do we get the food? Of course, it is from what? From animals and plants. So food have from which we get foods? Animals and plants. When animals get food from whom? Of course, they are from what? They depend on plants to get their foods. Okay. So how plants get their food? Do you know how plants get their food? No. So today we will discuss how plants get their food, because they are what? They are autotrophic. Okay. Previous class we know what is autotrophic. Okay. Means they prepare their own food. Yes, plants are autotrophic. So today we learn how these plants, yes, they are autotrophic, how they prepare their food. Okay. The process by which plants prepare their own food, today we discuss that topic. So today we start photosynthesis.
Using the red.
So today we learn about the process by which plants get their or prepare their own foods, that is photosynthesis. As you see the heading, photosynthesis, it is comes from two words. One is photo, another is synthesis. Photosynthesis. So do you know what is mean by photo? It is a very common word used for photography. Okay. So photo means photo related to what? Light. Photo related to light. And synthesis means what? It is to make or to prepare. Okay. To make or to prepare light. So what is the overall meaning? It is plants prepare synthesis of form, prepare their food in light. In what light it is? It is sunlight. Okay. It is sunlight. So plants prepare their own food in sunlight. In what? Food. Chlorophyll, in chlorophyll molecule. Chlorophyll molecule. By using water and carbon dioxide. This process is called as photosynthesis. Red means liquid. So photosynthesis comes from two words. One is photo and the other is synthesis. Photo related to what? Light, that is what? Sunlight. And synthesis means to make or to prepare. So overall meaning of photosynthesis is what? Plant prepare its food in sunlight, in chlorophyll molecule, by using what? Water and what? CO2. CO2 means it is carbon dioxide. So let me write the definition for you. This is to understand, but I am writing the
Are you going
definitions
to
now.
Ravi? Ravi, ଏଇ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି synthesis ମାନେ ହଉଛି putting together, right? ତ ଆପଣ ଏଠି ଲେଖିଲେ to make or prepare,
Synthesis to that you will also write, but in this context,
but context ହେଲେ थोड़ा ना सेटा change करना, that is putting together. Putting together means all the
all team are
yes,
you
you
are
have written there to make or prepare, it's totally different.
Directly. Your answer already clear here. Prepare means it by make.
Yes. But-
Which one you are just doing by made? That is prepare.
But synthesis from proper hochi putting together.
That is group.
You know, and you have here also using water. Water from where? Carbon dioxide from where?
I am come.
Okay, right.
I come.
Okay.
Good question.
Really means they are learning from us, no? So we have to be very careful.
Yeah. So let me repeat this. Photosynthesis is a process by which green plants which leaves are green, makes their own food during sunlight in chlorophyll molecule that is present in what leaf. In leaf, we come to this leaf structure by using water, that is H2, and carbon dioxide CO.
So that means any other plant, ornamental, red color leaves,
Yes.
you are not
It
making.
was mango.
So that is not
Green.
making photosynthesis.
Green. Why have written green plant?
Yes, why you have mentioned there green?
Green because they are chlorophyll molecules.
So in that ornamental plant,
They are not.
they are not having chlorophyll and how they are making.
Not preparing any food. How living how? Exist how?
Yes, they are ornamental plants.
Yes, have you seen red color there?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what about?
Red lily have you seen? How?
They are lilies flower, but their leaves, some
Also red.
no, some leaves are red, but in the early stages.
Which
they are-
some?
No,
Which one some you told? How they will prepare?
they are.
Or they are not preparing?
Yes, they will prepare.
Preparing.
They are not green, they are red color. How
By
they-
which plants making directly variety is no question.
Why you have mentioned green?
It is individual. Green means in particular just one plant. It's obviously everybody telling green means wood, but plant if we write it's better. Question 0. Now that madam one question, it was also my question.
Yes. So, can you clarify that please?
Yes.
How?
I'm coming.
Okay.
No, finish. Finish, sir.
So don't rub this one, huh?
Yeah.
Don't rub this.
No.
Okay.
So you will put that in the equation, it is like this.
This is chemical.
Chemical equation. So plants are using what? Water, which chemical is from like H2O, and carbon dioxide CO2 in presence of sunlight, where leaves and in leaves there is chloroplast, within chloroplast there is chlorophyll molecule. So by using this, they are prepared what? This is glucose. This is glucose. They are preparing what? Glucose. And they are giving what? Oxygen. This is oxygen. That is a byproduct. Byproduct means their product they don't use, they are giving atmosphere.
So this is the balanced equation.
No, this is very it's going to be balanced. So it will be balanced this equation. So it is obvious not balanced. Yeah, here carbon is 6, here is carbon is 1. So if you are going to balance this equation, then you 6 here. 6 here. Then carbon is balanced here. Then hydrogen is also not balanced, like hydrogen is 12, and here hydrogen is only 2. So to make this 12 value you also 6. Then hydrogen is balanced. Then oxygen. Here oxygen is here. Then oxygen is what? 6. Oxygen 6, and here
2.
12. Sorry. So total 18. Here also we make it 18. So we have what? We have 6 of oxygen already. So to make it 18, here we multiply with 6. So both sides now 18. So it is a now balanced chemical equation.
But sir, this is not
So-
chemistry class.
So
Why you are doing?
No need.
Like
is that their knowledge is
Needed for the students, but this class no need, my question.
they are reading.
ଗ୍ଲୁକୋଜ୍ ମାନେ କେମିତି କମ୍ପୋଜିସନ୍ ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର
Yeah. So what?
हाँ बोल रहे.
So here it is what? Water. So water from they get what? From where they will get water?
From soil.
From soil. Obviously it is from soil. From what? Roots. The roots, they are what? There is present in xylem. From xylem, this water is transported to leaf. Okay. Then CO2. This is what? Carbon dioxide. From where they will get carbon dioxide? It is from obviously air. So how they get the carbon dioxide from air? From stomata. Stomata present in leaves. Okay. From this stomata, they will get the carbon dioxide. By using this, they are preparing what? Glucose. From where it is prepared? First it is the leaf. Leaves, they prepare what? Glucose. And the byproduct carbon dioxide value I am giving a arrow. Okay. So what this arrow means? It is a byproduct going to atmosphere. So this is going to atmosphere, which we are using in respiration. So this is a balanced chemical equation by which green plants makes their own food for photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis happens where? Mainly
Yes.
occurs in the chloroplast, right?
Yeah.
So in which cell? Chloroplast of which cell in the leaves?
Next,
Which cell? Name that cell.
it is in leaf there are below epidermis there is palisade and spongy parenchyma. In spongy and palisade parenchyma there is present there are cells in cells that present chloroplast. In chloroplast there are grana. So in grana, each grana particle is called as thylakoid. So in thylakoid this
Okay, thylakoid. And third is mesophyll.
mesophyll cell. This cell is called as mesophyll cell. The mesophyll cells two type. One is palisade, one is spongy.
So name that one. Okay, mesophyll
Yeah,
cells.
yeah.
And one more thing, during sunlight means what? During sunlight or during daytime? Which is correct?
During sunlight, madam, this photosynthesis two process. One is light and another is dark. That's two cells. Just one is light and another is
इंग्रजी भूल रही थी मैडम को ड्यूरिंग सनलाइट से बीच में बड़ी ड्यूरिंग डे टाइम सनलाइट रो माने से कथा होछ कोन कि हमें साइंस पढिबार अर्थ या नै जे वी विल मिस द ग्रामेटिकल रूल
maybe
of
not-
the literature because it's a literature but we are teaching a language. The language follows a strong grammar.
Yeah, I have maybe grammatical problems, but what I am trying to say is photosynthesis is two process. One is light, that means light.
Daytime.
Light process is means light.
Light means daytime.
Daytime.
Dark means nighttime.
So nighttime photosynthesis happens?
Happens.
No, yes, happens.
When respiration can happen?
Respiration all the time. To live plant respiration is all the time. But photosynthesis can happen in dark if in light direction they prepare ATP and NADPH.
Okay, utilizing those?
Utilizing those two, they can prepare food. Through this process, they can prepare food. If they prepare ATP and NADPH in light, by using this power, by energy, they can prepare food in
But why they
light.
will go for dark photosynthesis? They can wait for the light, no?
Yes.
So why, in which cases this dark photosynthesis plants?
In case there is no maximum light in rainy
Daytime.
season, if there is no maximum light in, if they no prepare that food, then they have to prepare this one and then prepare in night food.
So you want to say that adaptation, no?
Adaptation.
Term, you have to use the terminology. Okay, 10th standard means they know everything. You use those words. Okay?
Madam, in school I have to study Odia, so
Okay, Odia is
Odia-
perfect.
Odia is
No
perfect.
problem.
You communicate, just to make it easy.
Because Odia school में पढ़ो जो ना, it's okay. Odia रे भी हुआ, but use those terms.
Yeah.
एरा Odia रे कौन अच्छी adaptation Odia रे कौन कौन?
the half fair, the photosynthesis of half fair.
अच्छा, ठीक है, जल्दी कॉल हो, है ना?
Have to adjust.
Right.
Okay, you should ready for tomorrow, just have a little better.
In the same topic or in other topic?
Different.
Difference will be-
Different.
Different topic, just which one that you want to give tomorrow? Which subject, which chapter?
Cellular respiration.
Respiration.
Cellular respiration.
ठीक है, no tension, tomorrow you should ready, go.
Clean the blackboard.
next serial je ଅଛନ୍ତି
All of you have come from Mayurvanj, right?
Mayurvanj.
I am from
You are from Mayurvanj.
Before also he was
Where is that? He is
your friend.
Same school you two are.
No, he is from Malvan, I am from Malvan.
But
Local area here of same district,
Same college, sir.
same college.
So what is famous in Navrangur?
Why Navrangur is famous? What is the agricultural product?
Yes, agriculture.
Major
Maize,
agricultural.
Major production.
Millet also.
Millet, recently, in 2 to 3 years, millet is producing more, but overall time maize is.
Millet, it was. No, mostly Navrangur. Okay, you go. District of Navrangur. Next.
Correct होने एप्लेरो ये कुछ इतना communication accent और narcissism का ठीक है तो प्रॉब्लम emotional और right
But that content is a problem.
No, topic step by step ଆସିଛି
ମାନେ
get it.
normal tax देला वाला पढ़ा वाला
नहीं little but take a shift.
First, give one short introduction of yours.
Myself, Sister Pradipta Chopra. I am a postgraduate from Central University of Punjab, passed out 2023. I am the third doctor of my parents, and I am currently a high school teacher in Veerabalabhadrapur High School, and I want to be a postgraduate teacher because it is very fascinating. I think I need my professional development.
In botany. Why in botany? Why not in others?
Actually, from the very beginning, from my childhood, I am very fascinated towards nature because my father was a farmer. I used to often visit the fields with him. So from there only I got attracted towards the plants and its the properties. Then with higher education, I got to know about the molecular biology, the biochemistry, the cell biology, and that these things fascinated me. That someone in layman point of view would not just think about it, that so much is taking place in between those beautiful flowers and cells. So I'm
You have become a teacher. Already you are a teacher.
Yes,
You have teaching experience. Let us know that what is the standard of our students at secondary and higher secondary level.
Pardon, I couldn't get the question.
What is the standard of our students? You have already become a teacher. You have been teaching your students also. So that means by the process of teaching, you must be evaluating the standards of our students. And what is that? You did your persuasion from Central University, Punjab. So what is the standard of our students in what is in secondary?
Sir, actually, what I think is the students are highly ambitious, but due to some lacuna of prior knowledge, or actually I am teaching the students to have a short break during the corona period. So I think they actually, when I engage them in certain activities, they do so well. They were well acquainted. They even I led them to do hands-on activities and experiments, and they do it happily. adolescents, they want to explore. But when it comes to writing, and it is a like a dogma set in their minds that studying is hard. So I think that needs to be changed with graduate procedures.
How to change?
Sir, I think.
Because you are teaching district within one school,
Yes, sir.
one class, single individual.
Yes, sir.
But the question is mass, Odisha.
Yes, sir.
You told some lacuna, some problem. Overall, how we will eradicate it? You should give some suggestion. It may implement or it may not be implemented. That's a condition. Being a teacher, it is your opinion. If you will do this, we can do little better.
It is so easy to speak out that there are some lacunas. What are those lacunas? Exactly, we want to know all those lacunas and we want to address all those lacunas.
What I have learned in this 1 year, that first of all, our books are designed for NCERT only, and Odia medium books have the terminologies were already written in English and bracket. But when I used to say my students to stand up and read loudly the books, they even in 9th and 10th standards, sometimes they are unable to read Odia properly, even being an Odia student. The next thing is, when they read, they ignore and skip the English terminologies. What might affect their higher studies as well, because our higher studies is not available in Odia language. This is one type of problem, that they are so much into it that we don't need English terminologies. We have to skip that term. We have to skip the bracketed terms. They are well equipped with all the.
Maybe in language.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a whose fault? It is whose fault?
Fault.
Students unable to pronounce a single sentence, single word. It is a lacuna, you
Yes.
got it. So my question, it is whose fault? Parents' fault, students' fault, teachers' fault.
It can be an holistic approach, that maybe students come to learn, and when they go, they simply put their bags out and went on playing and all. Parents must need to check what they have learned. It is also for the teachers who haven't they went by passing the examinations from low levels, elementary standards and primary standards, upper primary standards. So if they are not pronouncing the words and terminologies in Odia properly in secondary levels, there must be the lacuna from teachers.
So what are the precautions you are taking for the class?
Well, actually, I used to engage them in some sort of word activities. Like I used to tell them, in case some people are not interested in learning that day, or I have some arrangement classes, I have some extra periods. I used to divide them in groups and simply carry on word and lexicon kind of activity, in which they have to memorize some English terminologies as well as Odia terminologies. And I simply let us start the game with science. One group has to tell a scientific term starting with E. Then if he told something from E, it ended in something likewise.
What game just you
Yes.
use?
So today have you prepared this one game? Any other activity?
Ma'am,
Like a demo?
actually I have prepared with bingo puzzle, but unfortunately I couldn't print it out because in this.
Tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
That's another one question. You told you were fond of lecture.
Yes.
Being a father, farmer's daughter. Always you were going, perhaps are going to farm. Perhaps I'm thinking today also you are going. Because nature lover.
Yes.
What you tell me? As a teacher, to whom you will help? To a farmer or to a teacher, sorry, student? To whom you will teach? To whom you will develop? My question.
Sir, actually.
Because everything what you told for just a farmer, because fathers Father is a farmer, so that you got some pain. So very nice for that reason. But being a teacher, what you should do for the students?
Actually, my entire concern is our entire economy, our lifestyle depends on plants. Without food, we all know the concerns about growing population and all. The people stop doing farming these days because they are getting food in low prices in the market without understanding that the things they are buying from the market are itself grown somewhere in the fields. So I think we could bring this to the concern of the students itself to change our future India. So I normally ask them for what are their aims, and I find most of the students saying doctor, engineer, teacher, etc. So there is a saying in them to say that we want to be a farmer, and we want to be a mechanic, we want to be a shopkeeper, etc. So I suggest them that if we are studying science, there is science in everything. Doesn't need to learn the biology, physics and chemistry only to become a scientist. A social science teacher has much of things to do with science as well, that the scientific temperament is needed. So I used to tell them, I used to say them towards that anything you take, anything of your choice, of your comfort zone, but think it scientifically, logically and rationally, that you can be a good farmer when you know what are the major things you need to apply, what are the developments, what are the advancements of science in farming and all. I also guide them saying that there is need of perseverance, persistence and daily practice to be a good person in life. Before everything else, they want to be a good person so that we can set our future India with responsible citizens.
First, you told us an idea that how India will be transformed. The very syndrome in which you are suffering is I want to develop myself. So what kind of development? If I want to develop myself, then I must not speak to anybody else to think of developing India. So this concept, that means I am contradicting myself. I am very much eager to develop myself, but not don't want to transform my country. Teachers are living examples. Teachers are living examples. And where is the problem? The problem is the educated mass doesn't pay respect to the farmers. That is the only paradox for which students or school dropout doesn't want to become a farmer. Change your perception. Start believing properly. Education means it gives you ample opportunity to find that he is also a person, I am also a person, he is a farmer, I must pay respect to person. Being a teacher, I must pay respect to farmer.
But I should know, you clear, or I clear. You are a teacher, but you want to innovate something for farmers. What I judged, your thought is not that I am telling you, not discouraging you. I am happy. Being a teacher, she is thinking about development of agriculture. That means, what's your innovative idea? What you want to innovate? Innovation is the most important thing in each and every field. May farming, may any other field. He is also researcher, also scientist, now before you told. So that what you want to innovate in agriculture?
Who is the father of Green Revolution in India? Why Watney do you think botany is relevant and remain relevant for days to come as a subject?
So, I can't answer those on future, but as a botanist, as a botany student, I think the entire art survives because of plants only, and without further research in plants and botany, maybe in advanced level in biotechnology and biochemical levels we may research, but it's important. We cannot research to the biotechnology or cellular approaches without knowing what the plant is.
What helps NEP?
Any,
NEP?
you know about any?
You told just something about some poor students for education college in Orissa. Now NEP, what it helps?
First of all, it targets on mother
Is
tongue.
better or not?
So it's
Your
contradictory.
opinion?
So it's contradictory.
Contradictory.
Yes, sir, because I think it focuses, although it focuses on mother tongue, and I'm happy with it, because often people, great minds, who have scored 90% marks or above that in 10th level, just get afraid of English, and so they drop higher studies, and they get weaker in higher studies. I've seen many of them. So it might help us, because the medium of instruction being in our mother tongue and native language is easy for us, but it may not be so much effective while implementing, because as we say here in Bhubaneswar, our native language is Odia, but there are many immigrants, and many immigrants from Odisha is also living at Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, etc. So it may be I think major risk
Native
while
language, regional language is very important.
Yes,
We cannot, because that is
Yes,
our, no, and we cannot leave and we'll just run after English.
Yes.
Okay, so I
खाली
believe.
NEP रे माने regional language ର କଥା कहनी NEP ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ concept हाँ it's a very big concept ସେ concept को ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଏଥିରେ ଆମେ ଆମ vocational training को ବନ୍ଦ କରିଛୁ ଆମେ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି how we will give employment to a person if he is right away
Good things are told. Now, poor standard of teacher system in Orissa, being passed out from Punjab. What she does in Orissa, with 1 year, 2 year, she told, means how much of lackness. She not telling, means special she is telling, they are very poor in English. Am I right? You want to say what you not told
In
clearly.
English vocabulary.
Then how will we change?
How we can change it?
In Orissa.
Just finding lacunas is not.
You tell me.
How we can
No,
change.
she wants to be a developer of farmer. Then why did she will think about the English?
जैसे बताऊँ कि माने जो जेतु पंजाब रे पाठ पढ़ेले पंजाब रे फार्मिंग टा होची मेजर माने फर्स्ट एरिया टा होची पंजाब रो फार्मिंग
It's going
सेठी माने सेठी तो मर्सिडीज माने फार्मर्स यूज्ड टू मैनेज मर्सिडीज बेंच
But
It
as
doesn't
I
really-
want to listen, how she can get rid of this problem.
Maybe
No
one day.
lacuna.
Yeah. Okay, well, you come to Solasivir. You come to Solasivir near to Rona. Okay, are you prepared for the
Let's
training?
say lacuna,
Yes,
problem
yes.
of post
Yes, yes.
let me share it. I want to really.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I think pretty English is only subject, and also our teachers of English, most of the cases, they used to teach English in Odia. So I think
they used to teach us English in Odia
By language,
No,
but-
that is correct.
By
What
language,
she's
yes.
saying, what she's
By
saying,
language,
that is
by
correct.
language.
English teachers are also
By language.
talking in Odia when
Yes,
in
yeah,
the
in the-
school
by-
itself. Yeah.
I
I know.
it is
Correct.
the first demerit. But now government is taking so much initiatives. It's introducing the Navodaya. So we have the entire 6 days of the week. We have morning assemblies in 3 languages. 2 days English, 2 days Odia, 2 days Hindi. That same government is trying to implement in government schools, which is a very good thing. But our teachers, they are like the instruction came that
They do
in
it.
the document. No, they do it. They do it. But the instruction came that they have to conduct, say the plays in 2 days English, 2 days Hindi, and 2 days Odia. And it was undertaken that only they have to speak the plays in versatile languages, not the thought quiz, news, and thought. So this is the main thing I think personally that I have initiated in my school. The children have to carry out the entire morning assembly in the respective languages.
Mother tongue, in their mother tongue.
No,
In,
sir.
in English.
In 2 days English, 2 days Odia, and 2 days Hindi.
That means it's not.
Yes, sir.
So classes also you take in English only.
Yes, sir. No, ma'am, I have to take in Odia because the medium instruction is Odia.
Okay.
Demo would have teaching or demo would have you.
That too purely in English, no other language. Okay.
कोई subject chapter.
But topic
नहीं बटन subject chapter.
Anatomus of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't get hibiscus flower today, so
It's
Okay,
okay.
but
Whatever
tomorrow
is
you will-
there, we will see.
Leave it, but it's
I have got to give this.
ठीक है चलेगा.
Don't worry.
Well, actually, I have to introduce myself, like I have to give the students with flowers. I prepared like that, but I couldn't get the flowers, so and
You give that one, only one.
That's enough.
It's okay. It's okay.
Tomorrow you bring
can
everything.
start, you can, no problem.
If you have any lesson today, you will dedicate tomorrow.
yes.
Okay?
I was-
Okay.
It's okay.
Relax and.
Is it not?
Ah.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Have you all eaten your breakfast?
Yes.
Okay. So no empty stomachs?
No.
So I think your brains must be active today. So what do you think? We will study first or play some game?
Okay.
Okay. So you all have acquainted with, I have told you about some dissection of flowers. Any of you have dissected any flowers back home? Okay, no worries. We will dissect it again. So you are given with a flower and a blade, and you must be careful that the blade should be handled cautiously. So it would only cut the flowers, not your fingers. So let us start with the dissecting. Actually, I don't have a flower.
It's okay.
So,
You start the class.
So, what did you see when you dissected the flowers? Tell me one by one. We have already read about the flower and parts of flower. Just I want to recapitulate the things what you have heard. So, what are the parts of the flowers, my class?
Petals.
Very nice. Petals, sepals. Anything else?
Very good.
Sir, I forgot.
It's okay. You can say the petals are the. How does it look?
Very good. Bright.
Very bright. Not always bright. Sometimes it's just green colored flowers or some white colored flowers. But it's the mostly seen part of the flowers. Okay. Then we come to sepal, which is mostly green light, which helps in protecting the birds. What after we dissected petals and sepals we find? We find? Any guess? After we dissect sepals and petals, you can do it yourself by now. You can see such a, if I perhaps take the example of hibiscus. structure in your flowers? Are you able to see such a structure in your flower after dissecting petals and sepals? Okay. So these things, these small things with some yellowish powders you can taste when you touch them. You can get a yellowish powder. These are the androeciums. And this part, this entire part is the gynoecium. What it is? Gynoecium. Okay. So we have already learned about the gynoecium. It has a stigma, which is the receptive portion of the flower. Then the style, which connects the stigma with the ovary. Then the basal part, the swollen part, is called ovary. We have learned about all this things. This was a quick recapitulation. Then let us get deeper. Let us dive deeper into the gynoecium only. What it holds inside the ovary. So we need to cut the ovary down with a sharp cut. Right? With a sharp cut, you can cut it down. Now when you cut it down, what did you see? Are there some circular, small, tiny features? Okay, I think you might have got this tiny circular features like this. So what are these, guys? This is something called ovule. What it is? Something called